Big Gabe. It's saving something from being lost, I guess, was our first thing. And we kind of cherish the old around here because they're better than anything modern you can ever come across. And when we saw Gabe, I looked at him and we're checking out the thickness of the copper on it. And it was massive. Gabe represents a lot to us. Local history. It's been here since 1949. A lot of water under the bridge since 1949. It had a lot of contact with a lot of people in all that time that it's been here. First of all, we didn't want to see it get scrapped because then it was just going to get cut up and lost to history and never be thought of again. Secondly, in line, it was we didn't want to see it go to another state or another country and get reused somewhere else and by someone that didn't have its history.
So John discovering and Justin discovering, I guess the best way to put it is that I married Willy Wonka and our son is MacGyver, because John, anything that he sees, anything that he can think of, he just makes it happen. And he dreams beyond what most people's boundaries are. And Justin is a maker and a facilitator. So, things like John says, let's make this great XYZ. And Justin said, so to do that, we need to do these 5 steps. And so to watch the two of them really connect with the equipment and the history and the future and all that kind of stuff has been amazing.
The newest addition to the distilling family is Gabriel. Was originally designed in 1917 as a milk condensing unit over in Chicago by the Arthur Harris Company.
I looked at that and I thought, there's a giant 2,000-gallon piece of steampunk that I have no idea what to do with.
It was actually built in 1948, shipped over to the Callison Company down in Chehalis in 49, where rather than processing milk like what it was originally intended to do, or mint like what Callison's does now, it actually processed cascara bark as a medical grade laxative.
You should call them the chittim tree, or the shittim tree, depending on which side of town you're from. And that's what this thing did for 25 years. So we've been cleaning all that out because we don't want bad things to happen to people, when they have their whiskey that, it's good, but it doesn't want to make good.
This particular one was in service from 49 until right around 73, when it just wasn't cost effective to run anymore, and it got shut down, left to collect dust, until 2015, when the company started producing the mint crystals for Wrigley's mint gum, and they needed the space that it was in for the new equipment. So they were going to scrap it out like they did with the sister still back in the early 60s, because 10,000 pounds of copper will fetch you a pretty penny at the scrapyard. And we happened to hear about it through the grapevine, and we figured if we could make shipping totes and soup kettles make alcohol, we could make something that was designed for any kind of distillation make alcohol. So we went down to take a look at it and hemmed and hawed mostly about its size, because we only got so big of a door, and it was bigger than that door was, but we were able to get it get the legs cut down. It was able to fit in here, and the idea is we're going to turn it into a giant bourbon and whiskey still. Its original capacity was rated at 2,000 gallons, but once we cap everything off, we can fill it up at 3,000 gallons. So it'll be the largest still operating on the West Coast. So we're pretty excited to be able to get that fired up and actually working.
We measured this thing, and then we had to cut the legs off to make it shorter so it fit through the door. And when we had it stood up and sitting on the dollies, it had about that much room clearance to get through the door, and we got it shoved in here. So that was a relief. And it was really one of those things. It's been a paperweight ever since. We've been restoring it, steadily restoring it, getting all cleaned out. We could use it in here. And actually, Justin's the one that figured out how to. There's just enough height-wise to where we could get it in, and we could get it all assembled. And if we use some double-layer sheetrock with an airspace, blah, 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 blah formula to, get the fire code happy, we did figure out a way we could do it and still be within the terms of the code, and we still might, but that's a story that's yet to unfold for us. So right now it's just, let's make it functional, and then we'll figure out how to use it.
We're connecting with our local, we're connecting with who we are, and we're connecting with what tastes good for our customers.